Other news now, though, and a man has been arrested after a woman was killed by dogs in Liverpool. The 63-year-old woman was mauled inside a house in Kirkdale yesterday afternoon. 5 American bulldogs who were inside the property have been handed over to police and humanely destroyed. A 14-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murdering another 14-year-old boy in Gateshead. Northumbria police found the teenager with stab wounds on the Springwell estate just after 8 p.m. last night. He died in hospital this morning. The 13-year-old girl has also been arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender. And Rebecca Vardy has been ordered to pay around £1.5 million towards Colleen Rooney's legal costs after she lost a High Court profile libel case. Earlier this year, the judge ruled that Mrs Rooney's claims that Mrs Vardy had leaked her private information to the press was substantially true. Now, in the last hour, a man has admitted killing a mother and 3 children. Damien Bendall pleaded guilty to manslaughter of Terri Harris, Lacey and John-Paul Bennett and Connie Gent, but denied murder. Their bodies were found in a house in Killamarsh in Derbyshire last year. Peter Lane has been following the case and he joins us now from Derby Crown Court. Peter, this was an incredibly shocking story and the victims' families were there today.
Yeah, hi CL, and there were tears in a packed public gallery here this afternoon as those pleas were entered. Relatives of the dead watching and listening very closely to every single moment in court today. You'll remember this awful case, I'm sure. It's been just over a year now since the bodies were discovered at that house in Killamarsh, not far from Sheffield. A family and a school friend all killed. As you said, they were Terri Harris, her 11-year-old daughter Lacey Bennett, her son John-Paul Bennett, who was 13, and their school friend Connie Gent, who was 11 years old. Now, there have been a number of hearings about this case over the past few months, but this was the first time that the charges were formally put to Damien Bendall. He stood in the dock here today wearing a grey jumper, blue jeans, surrounded by 4 security guards as each count of murder was put to him, and each reply was the same. Not guilty to murder, but guilty to manslaughter, he said. He's also charged with the rape of Lacey Bennett, and he pleaded not guilty to that count. So we have the pleas. There's no dispute here over who's responsible for the deaths, but the murder charges still stand, that rape charge still stands, and this case will therefore go to a full trial here at Derby Crown Court. That's expected to begin on the 24th of November.